Today we're talking about things that can lower our vibration. Hi all, welcome back. So, what is vibration? So everything in the universe is energy. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency for it to look that certain way. This camera has a certain frequency. Paper has a different frequency. So even us humans are vibrating at a certain frequency, which we call vibrations or vibes. We can expand our consciousness to start vibrating higher and higher. The higher our vibrations are, the more easy life feels. It feels fluid, smooth, airy, happy, joyous, kind. Life doesn't feel like a chore. You feel like you're just flowing. Overall, just feeling like we are having a lot of fun. But the lower our vibration, the denser we start to feel. That's where we start to feel emotions like tension, anxiety, depression, just feeling low, feeling like life is stuck. In the high vibration, everything feels open, everything feels expansive, everything feels fluid. But in a lower vibration, everything feels constricted, it feels rigid, as if we're stuck in a box. So I'm going to go through some of the things that is lowering our vibration. Number one, complaining. Whether we complain about other people or we complain about other situations, it makes no difference. Whether we do it silently in our thoughts, in our head, or we do it out loud to other people, it's the same thing. Complaining creates resentment, and resentment is negative energy flowing in our body. Even complaining about the weather or complaining about how awful Mondays are, it's the same cycle of energy that we are perpetuating if we are complaining regularly. Complaining about situations like, why is this happening to me? I'm being treated unfairly. I don't want to be here. This isn't right. People are always mean to me. When we complain, what we are saying is that you are wrong, that person is wrong, or that situation is wrong, I am right. The more we do it, the more we are strengthening our ego. And this complaining, this low vibration of complaining, further sink into screaming or shouting, and then further down to physical violence. So all of these are manifestations of the egoic mind. Our tendency to complain, our tendency to scream or shout or be physically violent is running on autopilot. We feel like that is us, but in reality, it's just the ego mind that is making us feel that. Also, the more we complain, the more we strengthen a victim mentality within us. And a victim mentality is of a very, very low vibration. So it's going to pull us down into density, into anger, depression, just not feeling well at all. Number two is gossip. So gossiping or judging other people, it links to complaining as well, where we feel we have the right to judge other people because they don't look the way we want them to, they don't say the things we want them to, they don't espouse the ideas we want them to. We start judging them for being a certain way that is not aligned with us. And if you look at it objectively, it is strengthening our ego. It is basically saying that I am right and they are wrong. Therefore, I have the right to gossip about them, to judge them. We might feel that we're doing it in a light-hearted manner. It's just a culture. To us, it feels normal. But when you detach yourself from your identity, from your emotions, we see that it is strengthening our ego mind. The more we live from our ego mind, the more dysfunctional our lives would be. Number three is anger. So if we feel we are constantly feeling angry, especially about the world, we feel that there is blah, 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 blah wrong with the world. We need to fix this, we need to fix that. It's not a safe place out there. The trajectory of the earth is going down. Then really we are training ourselves to feel those emotions again and again and again. We're feeling dissatisfaction, we're feeling anger, we're feeling danger. All of these emotions are of a very low vibration, and they're pulling us down into a downward spiral where we feel that things are always wrong. When we come into this world, our only state of being is love and joy and happiness and creativity. Everything else we pile on to our existence, and we don't even realize it that we are forming these these identifications, these egoic identifications, where we just want to be angry, where we just want to complain, where we just want to gossip and be unhappy. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but this is exactly how the mind is working. It's making us believe that this is your identity. You are a person who loves to complain. We don't realize that we are complaining. It becomes so ingrained in our DNA that we just don't see it as something that is making us unhappy. Number 4 is holding on to grievances. If we find ourselves in a situation where we are constantly reminded of how certain people were mean to us or they hurt us, we keep thinking about them or we keep talking about them, then it is a symptom that we are holding on to unprocessed emotions. It means that, whatever somebody did to us, whether it was years ago, we are still holding on to those emotions quite actively. If we continue to hold those emotions and we don't allow them to process through our bodies, our existence, then the heavier and denser we will feel. Stronger will be the pull of lower vibrations. Number 5 is entitlement. So entitlement is the same, where I am right, what I think about is right, life should behave in a way that I want it to behave, other people should behave in a way that I want them to behave. And any person who deviates from my belief system is basically wrong. Believing what you know is the best, or the experiences that you've had are the most profound, or your religion is the truest, your wisdom is the deepest. So entitlement really puts us in a very rigid box. If we continue to think our belief system or our life manifesto is the best, is the truest, it will make us feel really good because it's strengthening our ego, but it's also bringing us down into a lower vibrational life. Number 6 is self-critique. So being hard on ourselves, feeling that we are not sufficient, feeling that we are not good enough, beating ourselves up for not looking a particular way, not having the job that we want, or not living the life that we aspire to be. We're basically allowing our ego to consume our energy. Number 7 is low emotional awareness. If we are not in touch with our emotions, if we are unable to identify what we are feeling, why we are feeling that, then we're living an ego-led life. We are not in charge of our emotions, but our emotions are in charge of us. If we feel emotionally disturbed, it's a symptom that we need to look inwards and really assess why we are feeling what we're feeling. Because our ego makes us identify with certain emotions that we naturally or truly don't really want to. The less emotional awareness we have, the more ability the ego has to control us. Number 8, low self-awareness. This links to the emotional awareness. Emotional awareness is being in check with your emotions, but self-awareness is really the entire thing. Low self-awareness would be you don't know what you're doing here, you don't know what you want, you don't know what you like, you haven't really gone inwards to see who you are as a person, to become friends with yourself, to analyze what brings you joy, what brings you most excitement, what lights you up. The lower our self-awareness is, the more we're living on autopilot. We are just living our life, like as if someone else is directing us. We are not in charge, but our ego is in charge. So I know this is like a list of really low negative emotions. A lot of these habitual patterns are part of majority of us. We don't even realize that because we are not aware of the ego. We believe we are the ego and we keep living our lives feeling like we are living it, whereas we are not. It's our ego that is dictating us. The first and most important step is awareness. Realizing that our thoughts and our emotions are not us. We are not defined by our thoughts and emotions. Detaching ourselves from our mind, from our thoughts, from our emotions, and becoming an observer, almost like you were to become your own therapist. And there's great freedom, unimaginable freedom in becoming an observer of our thoughts. With practice, it will help us to become more self-aware. And the more self-aware we are, the lesser we are in the grip of our ego. The less power the ego has on us, the higher our vibrations are. The higher our vibrations are, the more love, bliss, happiness, excitement, joy we are naturally feeling. We don't need to chase any of those feelings. They become our natural state of being. And once you go on this internal journey, if you do come across compulsive thinking patterns that fuel complaining or resentment or any of those low vibrational emotions, that is absolutely normal. This is how the collective human psychology is working. So the more self-aware we become, we're really raising the vibration of the entire society. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. Thank you for listening to this, and I will see you next time. Today we are talking about 8 things. These are 10. 8. Okay.